So welcome, and I'm so happy to go back to London. But dare I call you a size queen? Because you usually play a smaller venue. The Royal Albert Hall has 5,200 seats. Is this being the size queen?
Well, this is the size queen over here because Edwin, the conductor, Edwin Outwater, and myself, we've been doing these symphony shows in San Francisco, and Edwin actually had performed at the Royal Albert Hall before we went and did it there last year. So Edwin's the one who's really kind of demanding bigger size.
You're mixing with big people now.
Yes.
But it's tell me then, your special Christmas Gaiety show, which no children are allowed at. Tell me what it's about.
Well, we have seen people bring their children, but inevitably they cover their children's eyes at various parts of the show. Probably better for adults. And the idea of the show originally was, let's say you don't have kids, or let's say you're not with your family. Can you just go out and have an incredibly, ridiculously good time in the holiday season without kids and have a cocktail? But it became about something more. It became more about chosen family celebrating the holidays together.
Yeah. Well, I presume, as you're just newly married, Peaches, you don't have children yet.
Not yet.
You're working on it. You have a rather inspired cast of mixing British and American performers. Two of my favorites, Sister Roma and Le Chateau Gateau. What made you want to mix it up like this?
Well, I mean, Le Gateau did the show last year at the Royal Albert Hall and is a friend of mine who I've admired. I've been a fan and a friend of theirs for years. And then Roma, of course, and I go back decades. And Roma, I think, has done every single holiday show with us. Do you know how many we've done in San Francisco?
I think this will be number 6.
Number 6. So Roma's done all of them. So it just made sense that Edwin and I would bring her to London with us this year. And this is actually Sister Roma's London debut, which is insane. Yeah.
Have you told the palace?
I think we're making sure the king has been informed.
And then who else is on the bill we should know about?
Well,
notably Sandy Toksvig.
Love her.
Yeah, who was just going to be amazing in our meeting, kind of when she was invited. She was we could tell she's going to be one of our favorite all-time guests. She's just anything, and we have some amazing things planned for her. We also have Kerry Ellis, big West End singer, and the Fourth Choir, which is London's LGBTQ chamber choir. We have the House of Revlon to do some voguing. Who else?
We also have Anna Lapwood, who is the house organ player at the Royal Albert Hall. And if you don't follow her on social media, I really, really recommend it. Last year, I got to play the organ, her great big organ. She let me touch her organ.
There's too many bad lines in that. But Edwin, you get to conduct the BBC Orchestra. How grand is that?
Well, it's always an honor. I get to do it several times a year. I was just at the proms this summer and the summer before. So I'm kind of a regular with the BBC Concert Orchestra, but there's nothing like being in the Royal Albert Hall with that orchestra. It's just magical.
Two royal things, the Royal Albert Hall and the BBC. But talking about grand, this is in conjunction with Clapham Grand, which is one of our favorite music halls going back 120 odd years. How did this combination come about?
That really came about after last year. You know, the Royal Albert Hall was really great to work with, and they were the ones who thought up this partnership because they really see what we're doing is kind of inviting underground queer performers to join forces with, bona fide showbiz professionals like Sandy Toksvig. And they saw the Clapham Grand and the Royal Albert Hall, that partnership being kind of like what our show is. It's a mix of up and comers and underground performers with, established professionals. And speaking of established professionals, we forgot to mention one of the most important was because we're doing the show at the Royal Albert Hall and because we're both such trash, we decided we really needed to class up the joint. And so that's why Baga Chipz.
Yes. She's really the kind of elegant touch that we think will really make this show,
much better.
Much better.
Expect West End belting, bogan, spiced up Christmas classics and outrageous moments too. Tickets on sale now. It's gonna be much better.
How did this show come about in the first place?
Well, I had done a show in San Francisco at Davies that was a horror-themed music show.
Yeah.
And Edwin had heard about it, right? You hadn't come to it. And Edwin was living in Chicago, but Edwin was performing regularly at Davies with the San Francisco Symphony. Yeah. And so Edwin reached out to me and pitched this idea with the, I think it was Jeffrey Jordan and Edwin at the Symphony to do a holiday show. And basically we sat down and we thought up the idea of us being kind of a husband and wife and doing an old variety show and making it kind of, wild and kooky and fun and really in the spirit of things that had been done in the past, but obviously super queer and irreverent. And it was a hit, and we've been doing it ever since. Do
you take a version of this back to San Francisco for the holiday season?
This year, we're performing first at the Albert Hall, second at the Glass House, formerly Sage Gateshead at Newcastle. Then we go.
Do you know where Newcastle is?
Do I know where it is? Of course.
Yeah.
It's north. And they have a famous ale that we even know in the States. And then we head very quickly to San Francisco to do the show 2 days after Newcastle. So each show is a little bit different, but they all have kind of the same feeling. And the following year, next year, we have even more venues planned. So the show, as improbable as it is, a drag, crazy queer Christmas is expanding every year we do it.
So we're going to run the details of all those shows in case you want to book it too. And will you be filming it in any way if for those of us at home?
Well, unfortunately, no, although it has been discussed. Yeah. So maybe if there's enough demand for it. The problem with filming something like this is in the United States, there's unions involved and the musicians all have representation. It gets very complicated because these are big shows with a lot of people. But in the UK, because we're working with the BBC Concert Orchestra, there have been talks maybe about someday actually televising a version of the show. So we'll see.
I've heard rumors that some TV execs will be coming to this year's show. So if Peaches doesn't screw up.
Yeah, that's right. It's all
I think we could be fine.
Well, Peaches is safe because can I quickly tell you the story? It's named after Albert, who was Queen Victoria's husband. Do you know that when homosexuality was banned, the Queen Victoria refused to include lesbians because she didn't believe they existed?
Oh,
wow.
So it's a bit of a history there. So you're safe.
But so she was okay with her husband having that penis piercing, but not with lesbians?
Exactly. It's very strange.
Weird.
Don't talk about the English. We're very we're quite like that. we don't like to talk about things like that. So what else? Is there anything else we should know that you two are on before you disappear?
I think one of the things that we love to do is sort of push the envelope, as it were. And last year we had a lot of success bringing a friend of ours who's an adult film actor named Teddy Bryce, covered in tattoos, wearing a studded jockstrap and a harness. And he put a ball gag in my mouth and rode me around the stage at the Royal Albert Hall. And that was a little bit scandalous. And so
Victoria would have turned over in a grave if she knew.
Well, that was the hope. So we are thrilled to say that Teddy, who was very popular last year, is also returning with a new surprise for us.
In the Albert Hall. Okay, we look forward to that. Always great to talk to you and nice to meet you for the first time. Have a wonderful time in London. I envy you. And we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you, Roger. Take care.
Hello, babes. You okay, hon? Yes, it's me, Sister Roma, the most photographed nun in the world, and I'm practicing my British because I'm coming to London. My dear friends, Peaches Christ and Edwin Outwater have cast me in A Christmas Gaiety at the Royal Albert Hall. We'll be accompanied by the BBC Concert Orchestra, and the lineup of talent is some of the best the UK has to offer. We've got television personality and lesbian activist Sandy Toksvig, West End headliner Kerry Ellis, amazing musician Anna Lapwood, Le Gateau Chocolat, which I believe is French, JJ Revlon in the House of Revlon, and Drag Race superstar Baga Chipz. This is a show you do not want to miss, but it's one night only. It's Tuesday, December 12th at the Royal Albert Hall. So grab your tickets and I'll see you there, darling.